How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, late last night, the Saints ended up playing the Saracens Premiership Cup and came through with a solid win. We saw quite a few new faces. We saw quite a few impressive performances. This is very, very encouraging for the start of the season. We do have that's going to be coming up soon. And look, both teams didn't have full strength players. Understandable, but I want to break this game down. Please like, subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And let's get into it. So what you're going to find, the Saints ended up winning 49-34, and we had some big performances, specifically from Callum Chick, bagging himself a first half hat-trick, 4th minute, 31st minute, and then the 37th minute, really putting a lot of emphasis on just how good he is and what a good signing he is. Starting off as captain, straight out the gate, and this is very, very promising. This is the kind of player that we've needed and, is really going to help us. Having someone like Guarino Augustus end up leaving was a big blow. I really like Troki, but honestly, Callum Chick is an absolute monster. So really happy with him. We've seen impressive signs from Van der Mecht, bagging himself a try as well on the 21st minute, and then Walker on the 50th, Ram 2 on the 57th and then 74th minute. So really impressive. Anthony Belleau with just conversions all around. The guy is phenomenal. His kicking is on point. He put the Saracens under a lot of pressure. He played really well. And I was just happy to see this. So very impressive, very good signs. These are players that are going to be fighting, really fighting for positions, right? They're going to be fighting for that first team spot, and very promising. Now, like I said, we got to take this with a pinch of salt. All the Lions are still out. They aren't back yet. They have an extended holiday. So, as you're going to see, a good portion of these, that, it's not even close to being their full strength squad. Nowhere even close to being their full strength squad, but promising signs. I'm happy. You can't go, praising and going crazy over it. Yes, we ended up winning 49-34, but it's a Premiership Cup, not full strength squad. It's going to be a long season. I'm just more looking at potential here. I'm looking at players. I was quite happy with the way McParland played before he ended up getting taken off by Wyman. But I'm happy to see Hendy back in. I'm happy to see Ram, finally getting a bit more game time. I'm happy to see Hutchinson coming in as well. Very good players. So same thing with Todoro. Todoro is a really good player. I was actually quite happy with him. I would have loved to see it. I would love to see Fischetti, but it's just one of those things. But otherwise, we had a very good game, very promising. First half was solid. It was still pretty tight. I think it ended up it was 28-22 in the first half. So went in with the lead, but we really kind of just took things away in the second half. Noted, but we are still looking very leaky. I mean, I think it's the first. I think it was the first try. I think it was Segun where they had the crossfield kick into him, and then he was just wide open. So, at moments it's just switching off, and this is something we cannot have happen, especially with next season. A lot of these teams are improving. They're recruiting very well, and all of these teams, anybody can beat anybody. So we really have to be very defensively astute. We have to be as defensively strong as possible, keep our lines, because if we are not able to keep them out, we cannot keep relying on outscoring them. We cannot keep relying on our backs to keep people out, right? Now, once we do have the likes of Alex Mitchell, Finn Smith, Tommy Freeman, coming back, it's definitely going to help us, like, a lot. But we cannot rely on our backs. We need to rely on a unit. We need to be defensively strong. We need to try and keep them out because, again, we are going to be having very difficult games next season. I am happy that Andre Pollard no longer plays for Leicester and he's gone back home. But, these are going to be big games. And we need to be far more consistent because last year we were so inconsistent throughout the entire year. It was just, it really was, it was frustrating, it really was frustrating. So, I'm really hoping that I'm really, really hoping that this season we can crack on with performances like this, be a little bit more defensively strong, keeping teams, from getting those 30 odd points against us. Albeit it's not easy. It's going to be difficult. We do actually have a pretty solid squad, and then we have players like Hendy and Ram that's going to be performing. They just improving better on better on better. Prowse, Davidson as well. Still performing. So we got a lot of talent. They need more experience. I'm loving Eogon. He's an absolute monster, and he is just getting better. So we got a lot of talent here. We just need to kind of get everything running and getting that bond together, because I'd love to see Fischetti getting game time, and hopefully he puts in some solid performances, because he's an absolute monster for Italy. So we saw that in the Six Nations. He is a scary unit. So having him does really, really make a world of difference, and I think it's really going to help us with our season. Then we still have a lot of quality talent coming up from the from the youth, from the youth path, which is very, very promising as well. So there's a lot to look forward to this season. I'm hoping we are able to compete on more than just one front in terms of the Champions Cup, because last season it was just, we just gave up. We just completely gave up. Now, I would love to have a bit more information in relation to this, because Premiership Cup, I can't really find out all the in-depth stats. It's not on Rugby Pass. I've been trying to look everywhere. Even up the stats is difficult for this. So it's a difficult one, but brilliant tries. I mean, even the Saris, 2 for Sagan, 1 for Mallins, 2 for Bracken, Johnson with 3 conversions and a penalty. But it just wasn't enough to keep the Saints out. But this is going to be a long season. This one performance means absolutely nothing. The Saris are going to be coming in strong. I'm just hoping for the Saints not to be an 8th place side. We need to be competing. We need to be competing on all levels. Like I say, last season we just kind of gave up on the Premiership. It is what it is. And I'm happy now that they're bringing in the relegation. It's going to add a lot more fight. It's going to add a lot of fear into a lot of these teams. And that's going to add a lot more jeopardy as well, because, teams that are going to be fighting on the bottom, they are not going to want to be relegated. So, it's going to add that extra little bit more fire. It's going to add that extra little bit more of want. Especially in the back end of the season, we're going to see teams really, really going all out, instead of just sitting on their comfy, sofa. And it's like, oh, you know what? If we lose, we lose. It doesn't really make any difference, So it's definitely going to be interesting with that. But honestly, this squad right here, it's actually pretty strong. I'm happy with a lot of the players that we got to see, and we still have a lot of Lions coming back. So cannot wait. I really, really, really cannot wait for the season to kick off, get everything underway, get all of our Lions back, and start molding this team into the champions that they were just 2 years ago. So guys, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in relation to this, and how do you think our new recruits started? Because Callum Chick, in my opinion, is an absolute steal. And this guy, he's just getting better. Our back row is going to be scary. I'm telling you this now. Our back row is going to be scary. So, guys, as always, like, subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.